Thank you so much, Adam. The Polish Panther is back with the nickname. Love it from Adam here. Cammy and Seti now looking to show their dominance. We talked about it previously, but a reminder, with just a little less than 30 minutes left to queue up for your final match, these players now are going to be playing extra aggressive. 57 players up already in the 4th zone here. I would not be surprised if we see non-stop action as this game goes on, Jacob.
Yeah, this is just one of those games in the rotation to where there's not a lot of time left to pick up those points. So you might see teams that have a couple of extra games underneath their belt get a little aggressive at this stage in the game, pick up points before they queue into the very last lobby of the day. And that's why you're seeing so many players down early. Even Monier just almost in shambles, trying to back up and heal up. Lunex is there to alleviate some of that pressure this time around and really make up for that last game that we saw where Lunex kind of got taken down twice. Monier tried to save him and just things didn't go their way.
Flowberry loadout, ready to rotate to another dimension with the amount that they have here. Cheat and Vortex kind of taking a peek here. They saw 2 duos down below that are in an engagement, deciding, do we get that third party? Is it the right move? Is it the right play?
Time will tell. And you see this side of the zone just rather empty at this stage in the game. You can see where it's heading. It's over on the west side, but going a little bit south from where we've seen in some of these previous games. Vortex and Cheatin just trying to make their way to a center of the zone as possible. Maybe even get some elevation along the way to make their line of sights that much easier. But I think a lot of players on this side of the zone might have that same plan in mind.
No, Rayleigh. His duo partner. Looking pretty calm, to be honest. They do have 3 eliminations already. Rotating on in now. Not basically any duos close to them. I mean, you can look at the bottom right on the minimap. There's one player to the southwest, a couple duos already based up, but so far they kind of have the freedom to refarm up those materials that they've used earlier on while they make their way in to the zone here.
And even though they're kind of like building to protect themselves, you can kind of see the terrain. There's nobody really in front of them. And for the people that are, they're so high up. If they were to stay towards the water, they can use that natural elevation and really not be seen. But from the slow side to the fast side, you're seeing where all the players are currently located on the map. Just outside of Pleasant Piazza. About 10, 11 teams in the mini-map alone, which is more than a third of the lobby, which makes it hard for these players to rotate past each other without risking a fight.
A fight might be what a lot of these duos are looking for shortly, though. It's really just dependent on what their game plan is. How many matches do they have left? Do they want to get into that last match? I mean, this isn't exactly a cutoff that they're looking for. It's more accumulating those series points that they might have already gotten in the first qualifier, or might be playing fresh here in the second one. Will they get enough to make it to that top 50 for the upper bracket, or the lower 200 for the lower bracket in the semifinals? Nako, Kire, representing Spain here. Top 3 in the round 3 for this second qualifier. I'm loving the outfits.
Yeah, that's what you got to do, though. Even though they get a top 3, they know the job isn't done just yet. And they have their eyes set on the prize. You can see them looking around. So many teams building fresh builds, which gives away their location. Vital information for Naku. Figure out if he wants to rotate to the top of that mountain or not. It would give him a better line of sight, but it would make him a focus. And it's something you told me last week. If you're already positioned in zone, built up with a full box, you may not want to necessarily waste the mats to rotate.
Might not be the play as Nate now taking out the Reaper. But will he get a connection? Already has 3 elims on the board. Taking a look at the surroundings. A lot of action going on the edge of the zone here. Meanwhile, the players like Nate and Lane were already boxed up closer to the center. Feeling quite calm, but now as the zone has pulled north, the rotations are gonna have to come through. You can see Nako instantly choosing to start that rotate, not wasting a second
Yeah, especially on that left side of the zone. Timing is of the essence. You don't want to get caught behind everybody else, especially those that are staggering themselves for the simple purpose to look for storm surge shots. It's Floki with a near miss with that sniper. Just trying to spot out a couple more players. He doesn't have too much distance to cover. And towards his right in the zone, it is a little bit of a clear area if he wants to go and take the lower ground from some of those other players that already are around in that direction. But you can see Cheating and Vortex box to box with another team. And this is what happens when you're this far away from the zone. Sometimes you just have to wait for the players around you to rotate before you can even rotate yourself.
Just 7 seconds left now until the zone starts closing. You can see the amount of players on the edge here as they start getting closer and closer, edging their way into the zone here, not wanting to take any big risks. 6-11 above, grapple blade coming through, but all these duos based up top. It's a 110 though to make them close the window as they continue walking on in.
Yeah, just a huge shot there to alleviate some of that pressure of his teammate. And that's one of the simplest things you can do if you become a focus. Just try to peek shots through. Even if it's a risky play, that means you might take some damage, but you have to do something to stop those shots from firing in your direction. As he spots another duo running by, they're trying to take that same rotation and make it easier so they get in the zone. And that's really thinking outside of the box, recycling builds, leaves it open for his teammate as well. He's so caring and thoughtful and aware of every situation.
That's what I want, man. Good teammate like that. Taking care of you. Making sure you're getting your rotations in nice and safely. As IR Balfo now. 117 above. Kind of below the bridge here, if I'm not mistaken. Close to the railway. Kind of stuck on the side of the ridge. It can be a difficult situation, but for Cheated, with that quick knock, can he turn this fight around? It's Nate who's been knocked down. Vortex left with just 20 HP to work with. Gets knocked as well. And now it looks like it's all up to Cheated. As a solo, duo partner down. Drop the medallion. Is able to pick it up. Going to recuperate a bit of shield now, but it's not going to be enough shield to keep himself up. Cammy and Seti now. One of the best positions in this lobby, especially if they're able to pull zone here. Fortunately, it looks like zone is going to be fully south, but they will have an opening to take shots on the players rotating in.
Man, luckily for some of these players that are going down at this stage of the game, more than enough time to get into another lobby before they close out. Seti and Cammy, they're just trying to move towards the front. We've seen them have a little bit of a slow start in game 1 of week 1, but definitely have picked up the pace since then. 1,000 over the damage threshold. They're already in comfortable position to where they want to be in front of the zone, looking back. Thunderburst trying to get shots through, but they become the focus from that high ground. And immediately you see them stop in their tracks. Right now they have a focus point of just surviving. They don't need to go big for eliminations because Seti and Cammy are one of those teams. They can naturally pick up those eliminations as the game progresses.
Dirty Nipsey now. Up above. Looking down below. This could be huge for them if they're able to maintain it. 42 players up, 24 duos. The clock is ticking. Getting closer and closer to that last match of the day as they continue to build higher and higher. Not as much worries of fall damage with the current mobility items in the game. Noah Rayleigh Aqua forced to heal up with those floppers. Now no more consumables left and Noah gets knocked down. Duo partner left alone now. Can he get out of the situation? The 2 versus 1. 36 builds. Grapple Blade might just be the savior.
Yeah, he needs to be able to stay alive here, even though there's another game. His placement, him and Noah, is so crucial. They got 0 points in terms of series points in week 1, so they have to finish at the top of the leaderboard if they want a spot in the upper bracket. But he gets shut down right there. Gets sent back to the lobby, but at least he can get back into another game. Floki and Kyrie, they're trying to use this game to the most effective nature, going to the front side of the zone, going up layers as well. They get aggressed on momentarily, trading shots back and forth before finally trying to disengage. A few seconds of separation between the two, but that's not too much for them to worry about.
Just 129 above. They're comfortable, but not comfortable as they could be. We'll be looking for a bit more damage. Meanwhile, IR Buffo and his duo partner picked up another one. That's 3 on the board now. 61 builds to work with. They are looking healthy. Even spare medkits there. Possibility for that heal off later on if they could stay up. 18 duos still. Staying group, staying close. Keeping that chemistry going. And speaking about chemistry, Cammy and Seti continuing with their wrath. 3 eliminations as they keep pushing through.
Yeah, they even drop down low. They don't want to be on that layer anymore, and rightfully so. They're the ones causing a lot of that commotion. They don't want it to turn right back on them as they reunite into the same box. Cringe trying to drop down low. Nipsey sees that one coming. The battle for high ground is there, but Journey goes down along the way. He continues to try to move up. Ill-advised move, especially without any builds. He gets shut down once more. Nipsey having to think outside of the box. Finds yet another duo he can try to go ahead and aggress onto before popping those shield fish and going right at it.
Nipsey, no builds to work with. Has a good amount of shield now, recuperated, but is going to need that impact frag, that refresh to get those materials. Good use of the grapple blade, trying to get up a couple layers. Unfortunately, bounces, losing a bit of HP to Zone, to Storm, but he's continuing now to find that option, and this could be it. Not able to get the elimination, but just a bit of materials, and another one is in the box now. Gets that elim. This is huge for Nipsey. Now 29 builds.
Yeah, big amount of points. The mats are just as important as he continues to move towards the front, but finally he gets shut down. That's Nomz who go ahead and gets revenge for Journey early on in this match. Seti and Cammy doing exactly what they do best. Going to the front side, staying down low, shooting towards the backside of zone. They find another knock. You see Cammy trying to run and get all those mats that they just earned to try to keep the pressure on that low ground.
Cammy Seti with the blender down below. Floki now mid layers forced to start playing the heal off. Using those med kits will be able to survive a bit in zone, but not enough to clear out this match. Still a long ways to go as he has to plan his rotate now. No grapple blade to work with either, but for Cammy and Seti, picking up their opponents like they're ingredients for this blender down in the dirt. Up above, we have Cringe and his duo partner as well, ready to play that heal off, but Cammy continuing. That's 5. 9 for the duo.
Already, right before our very eyes, you see the win condition coming out. Cammy giving all the med kits to Seti. You know he's going to go for the elimination, but Cringe has 5 med kits of his own as well. This one's going to come down to the wire. Hamas is already starting a little too early. Nomz doesn't have an option but to stay with the zone along with Seti and Cammy. Top 3 situation. Heal off begins. Cammy's just backtracking along with Seti. He knows they're elimination prone, and they try to go for it, but Hamas gets 1. Seti's still doing the heal off. 4 med kits left. Cringe, the same could be said for him. This one is going to come down to who took more damage early on.
Who has it in the bag? They're both at a similar range in HP as well. Same amount of med kits. This is anybody's game, Jacob.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to try to go for the elimination at the very end, but still 2 more left on the respective players. Cringe, he does have a disadvantage, a little bit of a lead going on over to Seti. Last of the med kits is going to be in their inventory as they use their second. This is still going in. 10 eliminations for Seti and Cammy. 11 elimination for Nomz and Cringe. Last med kit going to be used for both of them. Seti has the early advantage. Cribs has no choice. He has to start dropping down low. He's probably wondering, how does this player have so many med kits? What is going on? There goes the final attack. Seti goes up. Cringe with 10 HP out of nowhere. You got to imagine with the lead that Seti had. Storm Sickness playing a huge role. He falls and Cringe steals the game away.
The closest, the longest heal off we've seen to today's date, and the player coming out on top with just 1 tick left, 10 HP, and secures the victory royale.
That is a huge moment right there. It's one of those that makes you really second guess what is actually going on. And typically in past games, they went for the elimination. They didn't want to let it come to a heal off, but they had about 5 med kits each. They didn't think this was going to be a possibility. As soon as Seti ran out, he tried to go for the elimination, but it was just too little, too late for Seti. Cringe and Nomz really just stole away that game, and it was picture perfect.
What a way to end that off. That was insane, Jacob. I mean, I was looking at the HP, both of them in a similar range, both of them with 5 med kits, and it came down. I thought it was going to be a quick 1v1, but the player that came out on top in the end was Cringe, like his duo partner, playing height during the whole end of that match there. And Cammy and Seti as well. They were dominating the low ground, Jacob. Elim after Elim, fragging out with still enough medkits to play the heal off. What a match.
No, it definitely was a big match. There was a lot of moments throughout that match that you saw not only our superstars, not only our players that have all the series points already, but some that needed that big game. Even though they went down early, Noah and Aqua picked up some points. I'm going to keep talking about them until we go to the very end because they need those series points if they want to continue their FNCS journey. But with such little time left on the day, let's go throw it to Adam, Mini, and Levin one more time to see how they feel about the games.